I am very grateful to the University of Arkansas for providing me the educational tools to advance my professional goals in life, as well as being the place where I met my wife Judy, the mother of our children, Anne and Neil III, and grandmother of our 2 grandsons, Michael and Luke. Judy and I recently celebrated our 64th wedding anniversary. We married after I graduated and soon moved to California, where I worked for 3 years at Lockheed, designing guidance and control systems for space satellites. At some point, I decided I wanted to apply my engineering background to biomedical problems, so I took a job at a small medical research facility in Palo Alto, California. I began by developing many ways to improve cardiac pacemakers. Among the issues with these early pacemakers was that the leads attached to the heart tended to break as they flexed repeatedly. I thought that perhaps the leads could be located at a quiet spot on the heart where they wouldn't have to bend so much, but this required locating this quiet spot. To my surprise, no one had mapped heart motion, so I decided to try to do this, and I have been at this task in one form or another for the past 60+ years. But how to measure heart motion? I'm a backpacker and constantly use topographic maps. The thought struck me that perhaps I could make sequential topographic maps of the heart's surface at rapid intervals to measure these motions. 5 years later, using a room full of equipment I designed and built, I began to map the surface of the heart throughout the cardiac cycle and finally published the results. This work led to a collaboration with the Stanford Radiology Department, where I developed techniques to study heart motion using stereo X-ray tracking of surgically implanted miniature tantalum markers. In 1971, Dr. Norman Shumway's group at Stanford was doing their early pioneering research on heart transplantation, found out about our work, and asked to collaborate, suggesting that they could study their transplanted hearts with our techniques. The cardiac surgeons found that information obtained from these markers to be so valuable that they wanted to employ this technique in their clinical patients. So on March 14, 1974, after getting extensive informed consent, the first markers were inserted into the hearts of 2 patients. Subsequently, this procedure was performed without incident during cardiac operations on more than 300 patients, allowing many studies to be conducted and published. One of our most important basic research findings occurred during our early engineering validation in human patients, showing that the heart twisted during each beat. It turned out that this resolved a problem that had been debated for 300 years. This twist, known as cardiac torsion, is a very important property of the heart and is measured worldwide to understand heart function and even used clinically. Fast forwarding decades to the present, our marker studies have addressed many cardiac issues in hundreds of papers and presentations, including most recently that the leaflets of the mitral valve are highly active, not passive, as had been thought for centuries. I wrote a book about these findings with a former postdoc and am currently advising both undergraduate and graduate students in studies of the mitral valve here at the University of Arkansas, where I hold a position as an adjunct professor in the biomedical engineering department. I am most grateful to all my many collaborators over this lifetime of research, and now to you in the University of Arkansas Alumni Association for granting me this high honor. Thank you.